So, hello everyone. Thank you very much for attending in today's webinar, Edit and Plan Directly in Click. I'd like to start by introducing myself. Afterwards, I would like to introduce our company, just that you know who you're speaking to. And afterwards, I will jump right into our Right demo so you can see what our extension is capable of. So I am John Henry Mee. I'm the Sales and Partner Manager for Right, so for our extension. And I think most of you are already working with ClickSense. So today I'm not going to explain ClickSense anymore, but I will go into our demo and show you what our extension is capable of. Just to start with, I'm going to change the slide. Inform, and we are very proud of it, has won the Solution Provider of the Year award for Europe, Middle East, and Africa this year at the Connections. It was 1 week ago, and I think quite many of you also attended at the Connections. And so I'm very glad that all of you participate. Also, thank you to all everybody from Europe who is participating, because I think most of you can imagine other things to do in the afternoon on a Friday. So thank you very much for attending. Inform has around about 750 to 850 employees, and most of them are based in Aachen, Germany, and a few of them are also based in Hechingen. Nonetheless, we've also got an office in America, in the US, and one of my colleagues, Dallas Nevins, you can see her here. She is in Atlanta, so she will be happy to help anyone who is in America and who is interested in honor extension. So just to start with, I've got a few slides to show you how and why we developed our extension, because I just think that everybody knows ClickSense and everyone knows how powerful Click is. We all know that it's a great tool, but nonetheless, we and many of our customers noticed that there was a problem because it's kind of a one-way street. In Click, you're able to see the data that you load into Click, and you're also able to interact with the data. But there's one problem with it, because you can't change the data, you can't edit it, you can't add comments and stuff like that. And these were a few things that most of our customers wanted. And since it was not able to touch the data, we had to find a solution here. Therefore, what we did is reinvented Right, Edit, and Plan. So just to give you an overview, our Right extension is divided into Edit and into Plan. And within the Edit extension, there are a few more extensions that I will show you later on. But through our Right extension, we give you or anybody who works with Click the possibility to have a kind of two-way street. So yeah, you can see the data in Click, you can do whatever you did before in Click, but now you also get the possibility to add the data, to add new data, to change the data, to add comments, to do simple planning or also complex planning within Click. So that is what we did with our Right extension. And on the following slide, I'm going to show you a few functions and use cases that we have with our Right extension. So it actually basically started with easy commenting functionalities. So we've implemented different input fields like a free text, checkboxes, a calendar field, and stuff like that. So you can just add new data within your Click. But it also goes to simple and effective planning within Click. Simple planning can also be done in our Edit extension, and we've got a more complex planning in our Plan extension, but I'm going to show that to you. What we do, just to give you a better background, is we write back the data that you are editing into a database. We've got many different databases that we can write into, such as MS SQL, Oracle DB, Postgres, so basically all the normal common databases. We do not write back into an ERP system like SAP or Microsoft Dynamics, because we, to be honest, don't know which processes are behind this ERP system. But nonetheless, we offer you the possibility to write back into a data source, and you can do whatever you want with the data that you have in this data source. Most of our customers want to see the data that they've edited just in Click, so that they can use the whole capability of Click to just interact with the data that they've changed, that they've edited, or that they've planned with. And yes, our extension is also mobile capable, and we've got a direct data interaction because now we offer you a fast data analysis with one tool, because now there's no additional tool required like Excel or something like that, because you can just edit the data within Qlik, and you don't need an additional Excel where you add the data, or where you kind of change the data and then write it back into Qlik. So this is what we offer you with Right. So what we now did is we changed the possibility from not touching the data to please touch the data, and do that with our Right extension. And now I'm jumping right into the demo so that you can get a better overview of what we actually do. So here I'm going to start with our RightEdit extension. The app is called Sales, and afterwards I'm going to show you the RightPlan extension. Here you see your RightEdit extension, but what you see is basically just a normal Qlik dashboard. It's just what you know from Qlik, and this just shows you that our edit extension can be implemented in every normal Qlik app that you've got right now. But if I change to the next slide, you see that on the left-hand side, there's a native Qlik table. So we've got the possibility to just click onto a value, and then the whole dashboard changes and stuff like that. But what we can't do, we can't write any comments here. So now on the right-hand side, you see an edit table. And what you can't do here is you can't click onto these values and nothing happens here. But what you can do instead is, now there's a pop-up and you are able to write a comment here. And this is just basically the easiest use case that we have. And this is one of the first functionalities that we ever implemented with one of our manufacturing customers in Germany a few years ago. So they just told us that they needed the capability to write a comment within Qlik. And that's what it all started with. So if I, for example, select the customer casual clothing with the sales representative Britney Spears, then I can write a comment, today's webinar. So I wrote the comment, and here I can say cancel, or I can say save. And as soon as I save the data here, you can see that the data gets written back into the native Qlik table. And this is actually the whole logic behind it, because now when I scroll down, you can see here casual clothing, Britney Spears, today's webinar. And this is just, as I said, a normal native Qlik table. And that was the possibility what you had here. But that's just really basic. On the next page, I'm going to show you more functionalities that we have with our edit table. So this, once again, is an edit table. And here we've got many different functionalities that we have within this edit table. What you can see here now, if I press on order ID or on item number, these fields are not editable. And this is something that we said before, because we can go into or change into the edit mode, and then we can say which of these fields should be editable and which of these fields should not be editable. What we can also say is which kind of field should it be. Here, the date field, for example, we've got a date picker. So here you can choose a date. You can say, okay, the date should not be July 21. It should be 2020, June, and the 16th of June, for example. So this is just a date picker field. What we've also got here is we've got a drop-down menu. And within the drop-down menu, you can also use the smart search. So you can say, okay, I'm not searching for the customer boleros, but I'm searching for a customer with shoe in it, for example. And then the search just filters out every customer with the value shoe in it. And I can change shoe. What you can also see on the orange triangle right in the right upper corner, and also with this orange line here, is edit shows you which value you've already edited. So if I edit something down here, for example, then here's also an orange triangle, which shows you that this value has been edited too. What you can do now is you can save the data that you've edited by clicking on the Save button, or you can also cancel this. But first of all, before I do that, I want to show you some other fields. So here, the article, that makes sense. We've also got the drop-down menu, and in the drop-down menu, it's a predefined set of data. So you define which data is shown here. And all the data that is shown in this edit table is from your classic click data model. What we've also got here is a confirmed button or checkboxes. So within these checkboxes, you can say, okay, confirmed, not confirmed, whatever. And this also gives you the possibility to implement approval workflows. And this is the part where I can tell you that actually our edit table or most of our extensions are like toolboxes. So you can do with it whatever you like and whatever your use case needs. And you can just use the different fields and the functionalities that we have to use our extension perfectly for your use case. Now that I changed quite many data, I'm just going to cancel it. And now I will show you if I change the customer boleros to Bigfoot shoes, for example, you see the orange triangle here. Now, when I press on save, it will not directly be written back into click because first of all, there has to be a reload. But what we implemented here is the possibility that you have a hybrid feature. And this hybrid feature means if I save it here, it's already shown in my edit table, even though it's not yet written back into the click data model. And then if it's written back into the click data model, there won't be any triangle anymore. But if I save it now, you're going to see that there will be a blue triangle. This blue triangle means that it's not yet written back into the click data model, so there was no reload yet, but nonetheless, I can already see it here and the user can already see it with it, which is very important for the user, of course. So I'm just going to click on save here. And now you see that here there's the triangle and now it's gone. And as soon as it's gone, that means it's back into the click data model. And now anybody in my company can see that, oh, I've changed something here, or at least everybody who uses this table. So I've showed you a few of these fields now. What we've also got is this normal input field where you can write in value. And this gives you the possibility to do live calculations. Of course, it's an easy calculation, but nonetheless, if I say 5,000, for example, then you can see that the average price at the end will change too. So now the average price has changed here. So this also gives you a possibility to do easy planning, for example, cost planning or whatever within the edit table. So that's pretty easy here. What you can see now, if I scroll down very fast, it sometimes takes like half a second to reload the data. And this is a functionality that we've also implemented, and this functionality is called data paging. Because before we had that feature, after a limit of 10,000 rows, it said data limit reached. But now, as soon as you scroll down, the data is loaded, and then that's no problem anymore for the extension if there are tons of data inside or if there are many rows. So that's no problem. Another functionality that we have, if I click on preload, for example, I can show you that we offer global input fields. And these global input fields give you the possibility to do bulk changes, for example. So if you've got your data from your SAP system or any other system and you realize that there is something wrong or you want to confirm everything in a specific use case, then you don't have to click on every confirm button here because that might take quite a while if you've got a long table. So what you do instead, you can just press on the global input confirmed. And as you can see here now, everything is confirmed. So this might also be very interesting for you. Of course, what we also offer is you can also add new lines. So here, now I've added a new line, and then it also gives you the possibility to add a new order ID, a new order number, and then you can add the specific values here. I'm going to change that now. And what I want to show you now is how easy it actually is to configure one of these tables or to edit one of these tables. Because this is actually just as you know it from your click, it's divided into dimensions and measures. And we've got different dimensions here, such as the confirmed button. And when I just go into the confirmed measure, then you can see we can change the field type, for example. We can say, no, it's no number, it's a text, it's a currency, it's a date, whatever. And what we got here now, right now, we've got the edit mode checkbox. And these are the edit modes that we have. We can have a non-edit checkbox, as we have in the beginning, the order ID and the item number, but we can also have drop-down menus, we can have a free text, a pop-up, or checkboxes. And that's pretty easy. If I show you, I just changed to pop-up now, say done, and just a sec. Now you can see here in the confirmed field, there's a pop-up. In this case, this really doesn't make sense, but nonetheless, that just shows you how easy it is to configure this table and how easy it is to change that to whatever you need it to be. So this is pretty much what I can show you in the edit part, but that's not it yet, because what's also very interesting for you is we offer that you have a whole data history. So every change that you make within your data or within your table will be historized in a table. So if I just search for an item number or an order number, 10337, for example, I pick that, and then I pick this specific item number, then you can see that every change that has been made within this order number and that item number has been saved. So in total, there are 4 different history versions here. And what you also can see is which of the history versions is current right now. So it really helps you to know who, in this case, personal me, changed what. Here you can see what has been changed and when has it been changed. And you can also say which one of these is current right now. And this functionality, by historizing all these data, also gives you the possibility to build kind of logics, because you can say, okay, actually always the is current value is the winning one, but if one of these values has been changed by the CEO, for example, then this value is the winning one. And then always the value that the CEO has changed is the one that is winning, and that is the one that is going to be in the table. So this also helps you to build different logics here. And just to let you know, here we've got a right management console, and within this right management console, we don't only just store the historized data, but of course also the actual data. So you also got 2 different databases or tables where, first of all, the data history is saved and also the actual data. And now, still within the edit extension, we also offer the write form extension. So if you buy edit licenses, write form will be included. And as you can see right now, you don't see anything because a write form gives you the possibility to see exactly one data row. So you will see it in kind of a web formula, and then that gives you the possibility to have like a better view, for example, on an iPad or something like that. So if I pick the Bigfoot shoes product cap, then you see it's exactly one data row now, and you see all functionalities or all input fields that you have in your edit table, they are also in this form table. And the only difference is actually that it's visualized like a web formula, but you've still got the same edit modes. What we have here, though, is we've implemented write conditionals, because you can see here now that the date, for example, is non-editable. And this is due to the fact that we said, okay, we want to have a condition in this formula that every date that is in the past is non-editable anymore. We only want to be able to edit data or edit dates that are not in the past. So this is what you can do here. You can also say, okay, I just want my user A to be able to change the customers, and user B should only be able to change the sales forecast or to be able to press the confirm button or whatever. So this gives you the possibility to work on a formula, but let different users work on a formula and they can decide whatever their step is or whatever the process is to be the best for them. And that gives you the possibility to have a better overview and then in the whole table, as you can see. But what's very interesting here is if I, for example, change the confirm button here, you will see that it's also changed in the table. So this is what we offer you. Our extensions talk to each other. So actually, if I change something here, you can see it here. And I will do that right now. I will press save. And you will see that here the confirm button is gone too. So just to sum it up, RightEdit gives you the possibility to edit your data, to change the data, to build different use cases, and the form extension then gives you the possibility to have a better overview, to just have a nicer view. For example, if you've got a sales rep who's going to a customer, then he can type in everything here and doesn't have to type it into a whole table. So these are just two use cases. We've got several use cases for extension, and I can provide you with an presentation afterwards where we've got different use cases. But I think that you can already imagine a few use cases that fit to your company too. In the next step, I would now like to show you our right plan extension. And similar to a formula or to a form extension, you have to pick exactly one budget here in order to see anything. So in this case, I'm going to pick the actuals, and I'm going to choose the year 2018. And now you see that our plan extension, it gives you the possibility to do a sales plan, for example. In this case, it's a sales plan where you plan your revenue. And this is a clothing manufacturer, and they've got different sales reps, and they are planning the revenue for their different customers. So this is based on a hierarchy level of 4 levels. So here, first of all, you can see the total company. So this is the total revenue of 14.2 million. Now in the next step, you can see the different regions. You can see north, east, south, and west. And if I open east, for example, you can see that there are different sales representatives, in this case, Müller and Olsen. And now this table gives you the possibility to simulate your revenues within this table. So now I could say, for example, our total revenue shouldn't be 14 million, it should be 15 million in this year. And now it breaks down this value to the whole table, to every line in this table. And you might ask yourself, how many hierarchy levels can there be? We've got a customer, which is the largest airline in Germany, working with our plan extension, and they are planning on 12 hierarchy levels. In this example, there are only 4 hierarchy levels, but actually there's no limit to the hierarchy level. Of course, the more hierarchy levels there are, the more data there is, but nonetheless, actually that should be no problem for us. But to better show you what our extension does, I can show you that there are different algorithms here. So first of all, we've got a top-down algorithm, but we've also got a bottom-up algorithm. So top-down, I can say January, we don't want to have 3.8 million, we want to have 4 million. And then it breaks it down just to Faultley Towers, which is a customer, or to Golden Design, which is a customer. And it does actually the same if I change the 75,000 here to 100K, for example. So you can also work with shortcuts. And now take a look at this value. This value has also changed. So this is actually the logic behind our extension. But what we can also do is, now you've got this, actually it's the actuals from 2018. So you don't want to change the actuals from 2018. But what you can do here now is you can create a new plan. So in this case, you can say we don't want the planning factor of 100%. we want a additional factor or additional percentage of 20%. So let's say 120. And now that means that your revenue increased about 20%. And now you can see, say the new budget name here is today's webinar once again. And the planning year that you want to plan on is 2020. And now if I press OK, just have a look at this sum here. Now it's 15 million. And as soon as I press OK, it changes to 18 million. So an additional 20% here. And now if I save that and go back, I can now choose the plan today's webinar. So that actually showed you how easy it is to create new plans. And now, once again, you can plan within this plan and you can do different simulations. You can also have like a logic. You can say, this is my best case, this is my worst case, this is the plan for Mr. Decker, this is the plan for someone else. And this might also be a question from you. Yeah, if you are Mr. Decker, then we can decide, yeah, only Mr. Decker is the one who sees the values of Mr. Decker, and he won't see anything from the other sales reps. So actually everything that you have within your section access in your click right now can also be implemented in our extension. So our extension works with your section access, and this gives you the possibility to let Decker only see his values too. What I also want to show you right now is we've got actually two different kind of algorithms. First of all, we've got the equally distributed algorithm and we've got the weighted algorithm. The algorithm that you've seen before is the weighted algorithm, but if you say, okay, Sommer is 0, for example, and as soon as both values here are 0, then it is the equally distributed algorithm. So if I say Sommer has a revenue of 100,000, then it is equally distributed down to Faulty Towers and to Golden Design. But what you can do instead is you can say 0 here once again, and then you can say, okay, 3 parts are for Golden Design, only 1 part is for Faulty Towers, and then you can change this value at Sommer to 100K once again. And then you can see it's a weighted algorithm. So these are actually both algorithms that we have right now in our plan extension. Next to this feature where you can create a new plan, we can also give you the possibility to say, okay, right now we're already in the month May, so why am I still able to plan in January, February, March, and April? We can change that, and this is something where I can show you the functionality between edit and plan, because now here we can see an edit table. So this is what we do quite often in our customer projects, is we combine both of our extensions. We combine edit and we combine plan, and with both of these extensions, this gives you the possibility to build many of your use cases. So here I can just choose a base year of 2020, for example, and if I say the base period is April and save that, then you can see that January, February, March, and April are non-editable now. So I can't do anything here. And this totally makes sense because these are my actuals from January till April, for example. And now I'm only able to plan in May, June, July, and so ever. So this is one example. What we can also do is we can create a rolling forecast. So we can say my base period is January till April from my budget actuals 2018, and then from May until December, this is my new budget. So this can be my new budget today's webinar, for example, for the year 2020. You can say fixed budget sum, and then the sum of the actual 2018 will be fixed, and the remaining values from this budget will be broken down to the whole fixed budget sum. But I'm not going to do that right now. What I do right now is to show you this is what we created right now, and that's pretty easy too. Now it's once again, the values from my actuals 2018 are the basis, so January till April, and May until December is editable right now. And here, once again, I can just play around. I can do some different simulations. I can say that my whole total sum is 18 million, and that will be broken down until the last line here. So this is basically what our plan extension offers. It offers you different kind of plannings. In this case, it's a sales planning. What I'm going to show you later in our presentation, we can also do financial planning, personnel planning, cost planning, budget planning, whatever. So really, this is also, as I said before, kind of a toolbox where you can do different kind of plannings with. And here, all you see here on the upper side is just proper click, and you can choose from different click functionalities and let them work together with our extension. So now I'm going to switch back into the presentation. I will go here. So, and this is what I said here. This is a template that we've got. We call it finance template, but this is just a different template that shows you which kind of use cases we can build with our extension. And here you can see that it's a calculation and financial planning, and it's on cost center level. So you've got different cost centers here, and you're planning on a cost center level. So this could be very interesting for controllers, for example. And here in the upper side, you can then compare different values. You compare your actuals 2014 to your actuals 2015, and then you can also see the difference here. And that's what it sums up to, because you've got different detailed plans, and these detailed plans is one of the plans that I showed you in our planner extension. And by using all these different detailed plans, you are then able to build a P&L statement as it is here, for example. And then you can see all these values, basically the sums from your detailed plans, in your P&L statement. And then once again, you can compare different P&L statements to each other. And this, it really doesn't have to be P&L statement. That this can also be anything else. This just shows you the functionality that we have with our plan extension, that you can have different plans, and by using these different plans, you can have a total, and this total is then, for example, very interesting for the management, because the management sees the total from all these different plans. It also, in this case, offers you to do simulations, because here on the right-hand side, you can see a slider. And within this slider, you can say, okay, we want to increase our revenue. This is German for revenue, about 45%. And then you can just say that, and it will show you in the P&L statement what the outcome is. So this might also be very interesting. What I said before is we can implement workflows, and we can then say, for example, the controller is the one who works in the different cost center levels, and he can just say, okay, I finished my cost center level sales support, for example, or my cost center level marketing, and he just checks the checkbox, and then it says, okay, confirmed, and then the workflow says, okay, now the manager is the one who can approve these plans, or you can decline them. And now this gives you the possibility to have like a 4I principle. So first of all, the controller can have a look at it, and then the manager can say, okay, confirmed or declined. And this is a use case that many other customers have too, because they want these kind of approvals within our extension. And yesterday I had a call with a customer, and he told me that there are three different things that are very important for him. First of all, he wants a historization. Then secondly, he wants to have an approval workflow, and he wants the possibility to write the data back into a empty data base. And this is basically everything that we offer with our extension. And our extension has a very good backend. What I showed you within our management console. So we implemented a Write management console WMC. Probably most of you know the QMC, the Click Management Console. And here you can just like create new connections. You can choose a database, which is possible for you. You can see the licensing and stuff like that. And this background that we have is really good for enterprises, for example, because most enterprises ask us to have such an backend behind such an extension. So this is something that we're also very proud of. Now on the next slide, I can also give you a few more use cases that we have. On the left-hand side, you see the edit use cases. So we can have a use case like simple commenting, or we can have the data cleansing, what I showed you through the global input field. But we can also have the CRM functionality, especially for smaller companies, or the workflow approval for different use cases. And this is something that we're really excited about discussing with you, what kind of use cases you have and what we could do for you. And on the right-hand side, you can see the plan use cases. So there are different simulations. We've got approval processes here. We can do a budgeting plan, a liquidity plan, finance planning. So basically quite many plannings, and like the combination from edit and plan is very powerful nowadays. And what I want to show you now is that our extension, especially the edit extension, is a trusted extension. It's trusted by Click. So it was quite a hard process, and we had to give our code to Click. And then they kind of approved the whole extension. And now we are a TED, so a trusted extension developer. And this is also something that is very important for many customers, because especially large customers often say that they only want trusted extensions. And that is something that we have and what we're very proud of. So first of all, I want to thank you. And I would like to ask you if there are any questions. I think we've got the possibility for you to ask questions. And now I will answer them. Okay, so far I see that there are no questions. I've got one question, and the question was, how difficult is it to implement this? To be honest, actually, it's very easy to implement it. You don't need any developer experience. We can also, if you're interested in it, we can also provide you with a trial license and a demo version, and then you can just test it yourself. We've also got a support team who will always be able to support you with the installation process. But really, it's very easy, actually, because as I showed you in the edit mode, it's very easy to kind of configure the table, and it's also very easy to show, like in a POC, what you can do with this extension within a very short time. But I'm very happy if you would like to test it. Okay, I saw another question from Mike. The question is, does it work with both ClickView and ClickSense? No, unfortunately, it only works with ClickSense. We had it work on ClickView before, but there's no update anymore, and it was very, very hard for us to do it in ClickView, and that's why we're only doing it in ClickSense right now. Okay, there's another question on how is the reload performance in larger data models. So we've got many large customers, and one of the customers that I told before is Lufthansa, which is the largest airline in Germany. And since they are planning on 12 different hierarchy levels, there's a reload of data there. And for us, it's no problem. Thomas, our product manager, he's not there today, but he told me that when he had the meeting with Lufthansa, they told him that they were really stunned by how fast it was, because before they did the planning within SAP, and it took like 4 hours, I think. And now within our extension, the whole reload process only took like 2 minutes. So they were really proud of what we did, and they are really happy using our extension right now. But also here, we're really happy if you just reach out to us, and we can discuss that in detail. Another question is there a different cost for plan and edit? Yes, correct. There are different costs. The plan extension is the edit extension is a bit cheaper than the plan extension, and there are different licenses. But if you buy the plan extension or the plan licenses, then you also get all edit functionalities included. And it's a subscription per year per user model. So basically, as you know it from click two. And if you want to, I can also provide you with the prices afterwards. And my colleague, Dallas Nevins, she will be there for all the participants from America, and I will be there for everyone in EMEA. The next question is, do you work with partners? Yeah, we've got a very big or large partner network. I think we've already got around about 35 partners all over the world. Of course, right now, most of them are in Germany, but nonetheless, we've also got partners in America. We've got a partner in the US, in Colombia. We've got partners in France, for example. So we're really happy. And if you would like to become a partner, then just reach out to us, and we will be very happy to be your partner in the future. Okay. Another question is when you are changing data, where data is storing. Okay. I think this is something that I already explained. When we change our data, then our data is stored in a database. So you can decide which kind of database that should be. That could be an MS SQL, that could be an Oracle DB, Postgre, whatever you want to have. I think we can kind of work that out, and then the data got stored into that database. I hope that was the answer for your question. And okay, for now, I think that there are no more questions. So therefore, I would like to thank all of you for participating. I would be very proud if you just reach out to us afterwards, and we can have a chat or a discussion. And I'm looking forward to meeting you someday. And thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Take care.